Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael "The Count" Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
And we're live. We're here. We're not live.
Are we live, Lewis?
I don't know what that
really?
means.
30 seconds into it. In fact, no. The first thing you said was a fucking mistake.
1.2 seconds in. And we are not live.
We are definitely not live, but we are in person.
In motherfucking person, bitch.
In person at
Gas Digital West.
Gas Digital West. And we just came from
Joey Diaz's podcast.
Joey Diaz's podcast.
Why am I finishing your sentences like we're a fucking duo?
We are live and direct, coming at you from Studio West in LA. It's Luis J. Gomez.
Ah, shit.
And his fucking sidekick.
What episode is 90? Are we at number 90?
88.
No.
I think 88.
90.
88, 89, 90.
Whatever it is.
What are we going to do for 100?
I wanted to do a special live show in England or somewhere, maybe Los Angeles or somewhere. And you said no. You shot it down to my face.
Multiple reasons. One.
Give me number one.
I don't want everyone saying he's trying to copy Brendan Schaub now so bad. Look at him. Now he's doing stand-up and live shows. Secondly, it seems like a lot of work for not much money. Okay?
There's
now,
money.
I guess everything's relative. I want to do it to connect with our very loyal fan base, which they're incredible, and the support we get is awesome, so thank you very much. But yeah, you know, I don't know.
What's your perspective? What does not a lot of money mean to you? What is the number that is like, what is the number that would be
flying
worth it?
out there and generating a few grand. It wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I feel like you generate a lot of money in England. You have a very big
No, I
fan
know.
base in England.
I just got hit up. They want me to do some like black tie event, 500 people. Is what they're proposing it'd do, like a black tie event, like an evening with type thing. So yeah, I'm probably going to do that.
So you'll
that
do
sounds...
that. And Michael Bisping will do that because that's fucking, it's fancy and fucking, but the fans, these fans who, maybe they can only afford $22 a ticket to come out and see a comedy show, see a live podcast with their favorite podcast.
Well, maybe we'll do the live podcast as well, because the reason I was going to say is that I've signed a deal to do a documentary which starts filming soon. And I thought, you know what, that'd be pretty cool footage for the documentary. But doing a live podcast would as well. Maybe 2 birds, 1 stone. In fact, 3 birds, 1 stone. Film some documentary stuff, do the show, do a live podcast, bish bash bosh.
Bish bash bosh.
All right, okay.
Why not?
All right, I'll semi-commit.
Fine, we're doing it, guys. Listen, episode 100, something special will happen for the Believe You Me podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Look, here's the truth, okay? It's fucking midnight. It's 3 o'clock in the morning for me, by the way. I'm on.
It is midnight.
I flew in this morning. We just did Joey Diaz's podcast. I want to preemptively apologize for my energy level because I already feel like I'm not energetic. I'm not the normal, like, dude,
Well, I said to you in the car driving over here, and sorry to interrupt,
rule number 3, but it's okay.
I'm not at home. I can't see the rule book in front of me.
The rule book is fucking out the window.
Jeez, I don't know what's going on. Joey Diaz, by the way, great guy, very, very funny guy, great comedian, an excellent podcaster, and I enjoyed it very much. It was nice. We haven't done that before, as representatives of Believe You Me doing another podcast. So it was great. And it was a fun time and it was great. But it was more of a mellow scene than what we do. We get a little bit hyper, a little bit stupid. Well, I know I do at times. The whole thing was like mellow. And you guys are smoking weed constantly and doing bong hits and shit. Maybe I've got a contact high. Who knows? But I'm with you on like a bit of a mellow one as well right now.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. I'm just letting people know.
Hence, I'm drinking a kind of very high caffeinated drink.
Black Ops
at midnight.
There you go.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops sponsor energy drink. Yeah, I'm just letting people know preemptively. Normally we're off the walls. Normally we're fucking crazy and wacky and through the roof. But maybe we're gonna be a little more low key today.
No, we're not.
All right, we're gonna get crazy. Fuck you, Harrington. Take your shirt off. Dance.
Yeah, come on.
Do something, Harrington.
Let's go,
Get some
Harrington.
sexy music going, Gabe.
Give us the first topic that we should discuss, Harrington. If you're not going to dance, you're not going to take your top off. Jesus Christ, what are you even here for?
Give us a topic, Harrington. What are we going to discuss today?
What do you want to start on?
I was thinking Floyd Mayweather's next opponent.
Ooh, good place to start. It's a hot topic right now. It's probably trending on Twitter, I would imagine. For those people that don't know, that don't follow it, but I'm sure they all do. Looks like we could be looking at Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, of course, you scoff, you laugh, you say, no chance, it's never going to happen. And that's what everyone said about Conor versus Khabib. And then Conor versus Floyd. And then look what happened.
Not what everybody said.
No, it is. They said it was bullshit. It wasn't going to happen. Everyone kind of scoffed. Everyone kind of chuckled. Everybody said, no, there's no chance. He's under contract with the UFC and this and that and all the rest of it. They said the commission won't allow it. They went on and on and on. We all know eventually it happened. They both made a ton of money. Here we've got Khabib calling out Mayweather, mixing them up. Khabib calling out Mayweather, saying there's only one king of the jungle, 27-0 versus 50-0. Let's do it. Let's find out who the real king of the jungle is. Something like that, or equally cliched, but I like it. Mayweather did a video. He responded to CBS Showtime and someone else. CBS Showtime, Harrington? Whatever. CBS Showtime and someone else said, get the checkbook out. Let's go. And MGM Grand. Get the checkbook out. Let's go. So, that seems like an acceptance from both parties. Go on.
It's garbage.
Why is it garbage?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
Because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, cool. Khabib's challenging Mayweather to MMA, and it's just sort of a thing to do now because why not? Why not challenge Mayweather to MMA? Then you guys told me that this is for boxing. And then I was like, oh, cool. Khabib doesn't know how to fucking box, and he's got short midget arms. So what are we doing here?
Listen,
are we pretending that this is ever going to come to fruition?
I swear to God, Khabib would go the distance with Mayweather.
Oh, my God.
He'd go the distance with Mayweather.
You're gonna. I hate disagreeing with you on fight things. Usually, I just go, yes.
No.
You're right.
I'm not saying that Khabib is a better boxer than McGregor. He's not a better striker. He's not as elusive. He's not as slick.
Got a better chin, better cardio.
But he's got a fucking chin and he's got cardio for days. And Mayweather, at his age, was never a knockout guy, even though he did have some knockouts. He knocked out, England's very own Ricky Hatton in devastating fashion. But I don't see it. He couldn't put McGregor down. That's what Khabib's saying. Hey, you couldn't put McGregor down. I put McGregor down. But he put McGregor down through fatigue. And that was his game plan, kind of. McGregor was very, very tired and just started eating shots, and in the end he couldn't even fight back because he was so exhausted and kind of beat up. So the referee stepped in. That wouldn't happen against Khabib. It wouldn't. Yeah. And Mayweather would probably embarrass him and light him up and pick him apart all night long.
Well, I think that's
but Khabib would probably go 12 rounds. Well, Conor wasn't far away from going 12 rounds.
Think about this, though. Like, Khabib would get lit up so much more than Conor because Conor's so much more skilled with footwork, head movement, on the feet. Just, Conor's substantially better striker than Khabib. And I know kickboxing is different than boxing.
All right.
But think about how much more Khabib's going to get hit in those earlier rounds.
Stop. What point? All right, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Wait a minute.
What does that have anything to do with the fact of the fight happening or not? Because they don't give a fuck.
I think they do.
Mayweather isn't bothered. Mayweather can say to everybody, look, I'm going to now beat the guy that beat Conor in MMA, okay? Even though other people have beaten him in MMA. In the boxing world, everyone thinks Conor's the champion, blah, 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 blah. Khabib just beat him, tapped him out. So it's good for Mayweather. He obviously sees a big payday again, sees a lot of people tuning in and watching him, which of course they would because Khabib is now massive and he has crazy fans. So he earns a lot of money. Khabib on the flip side, he's like, you know what, I kind of fancy that. I reckon I could because he's a fighter, he's a tough motherfucker. And he's not particularly motivated by the money. But everybody's motivated a little bit by potentially $40-50 million. It wouldn't be a McGregor type payday. It wouldn't do that type of numbers. But it's still going to be a big payday.
I just feel like the reason it's not going to happen is because there's no story there. Nobody in the world would ever think that in a boxing match that Khabib would ever have any chance. There's just not. I don't know who's buying that fight. It would just like. The story of maybe could Conor do it? Could he cross over? Does he have that punching power? He's got that crazy knockout power. There was a big kind of question of like a puncher's chance. I would love to watch Mayweather versus Khabib in MMA. That would be something that I would fucking,
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind because everything you just said
also applies to
about
MMA.
that also applies to it in reverse for an MMA fight.
But I'm an MMA fan. I want to see McGregor on his ass. How great would that be?
Say whatever you want about McGregor. His takedown defense was good. You know, it wasn't easy for Khabib to take him down. I think McGregor's got pretty good takedown defense. And my point is that Khabib still took him down, controlled him, all the rest of it. What do you think he's going to do against someone like Mayweather? You know, so everything what you just said applies. You listen, you know, it's going to be it's fun to speculate for a little bit, but fact of the matter is that as of right now, both guys have said they want to do it. That's... You know, that's the biggest thing, Lewis. That's the biggest thing.
Harrington's been trying to chime in for fucking 8 minutes. Since 1 minute into the podcast, he keeps going,
Chime in, Harrington.
What is it, Harrington?
I'm just so interested. The last part, the hashtag MGM Grand. Is that Floyd saying he's not fighting outside of Vegas no matter who it is? Because, I mean, I don't see how Vegas is going to, like, give him a boxing license after the riot in the crowd. I feel like that's a big holdup.
He got suspended for 10 days. He got suspended for 10 days. That won't be the issue. Big fucking money. Boxing license, I don't even think would be anywhere near the issue. I'm saying the fucking interest in it is not there. Would you want to watch that fight? Would that be a boxing match between Khabib and Floyd? Is there any? It's a fucking nightmare.
No.
I think my son has a better chance of beating Mayweather in a boxing match.
At what point did I say, ooh, that'll be a good fight. That'll be competitive. I never said that, okay? Do not put words in my mouth. Luis Gomez, okay?
Gomez.
Yeah, I know, but I won't pronounce a J if you put words in my mouth. I never said that, and you're right. I'd probably watch it. I'd have a real problem paying for the pay-per-view. I'd get Callum to, like, not that he's ever done this before, but look for an illegal stream somewhere. I'm like, Callum, you know about these things. And I'd probably do that, but I'd want to see it. And you're probably right. It's probably not going to happen. You've convinced me.
Yeah, there's no way. There's just no fucking way. It's just, I think it's sort of the thing to do now is you call out Mayweather, and then Mayweather, he's keeping himself relevant. It's just, I don't know. There's just not
Last
enough
I heard, he was
there.
fighting Pacquiao anyway.
Yeah, right? It wasn't
Pacquiao's coming out of retirement. He's going to be fighting on the new... obviously, Fox Sports have lost the UFC rights, and they're switching to WWE, but that's not going to be towards the end of next year. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that... I forget the name of it, Pacific Coast Wrestling or Pacific something wrestling, my apologies. But yeah, they're starting on board. They're going to do pre-fight shows, post-fight shows, that whole thing. And they've got a big budget, so they're going to be looking at making boxing great again, you know, in the US, and doing some big fights and signing some big deals. I think they're looking at having Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder on there at some point. They're definitely talking about having Pacquiao. I think he may be signing a deal with them. So they're trying to do like a real legit boxing league with big hitters, lots of money going around. So that'll be interesting to see if that takes off. And anyway, as I say, I heard that Pacquiao is going to be on there and potentially Mayweather at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see. I really feel like there's an opportunity now. It feels like, in a weird way, for me anyway, I feel like it does feel like we are reaching a post-McGregor time in MMA. I think this loss to Khabib, we're going to probably get another couple big fights out of McGregor.
Well, it's as I said to you before on the other podcast, you know, it's great because, you know, we were talking about McGregor, and we're talking about life and attitudes to life. And in fact, Ray, because I mentioned it, I said, somebody said to me, they said, you know, just you got to believe, you know, what you want to achieve, carry yourself like that, believe it, live
this
that
was
life.
Luke Rockhold, actually.
And well, conceive, believe, achieve. No, but Ray that owns the studio, we were talking about something, I had a ton of auditions. He said, yeah, but you just got to believe it. If you believe you've already made it in anything and carry yourself like that, you'll be drawn towards it and it will kind of happen. And he was right. And we were talking about it. And we were saying that McGregor, he's still parading around like he was the winner. He's still acting like he won that fight. He's at football stadiums throwing the ball out. The crowds are going crazy. He's throwing his whiskey around. He's all smiles. He's happy. Keep carrying yourself like that. And in a few weeks, everyone's forgotten about the fight. They forgot about the tap out. They just see McGregor still bouncing around like life's winner and this and that.
But that'll only last so long. I mean, how many times can you lose before that starts to be, you know, you're no longer the baddest man on the planet? You know, that's a big part of the appeal in MMA. When you're no longer the baddest dude on the planet, when you're no longer, like, you know, in contention for the title, it sort of becomes a thing where I think you start to deteriorate in value in terms of your value as a fighter, or that being your thing. That starts to deteriorate once you're no longer in contention. Every time you fight, whether you win or lose, you're either like fodder for a dude who's on his way up, or you lose a fight and you legitimately like lose sort of
Well, maybe from your mind or possibly some fans' minds, but not from a fighter's perspective.
Yeah.
Not from a fight. I mean, I remember when I fought Rockhold the first time in Australia, in Sydney, and we did a press conference, and then afterwards they had some interviews for me to do, and I spoke to this journalist, and he said, "So this is it, right, Mike? This is it, eh?" I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well," he said, "if you lose this fight," he said, "you're never going to be the champion, are you? Let's be honest. You lose this one." He said, "This is your last chance at a big matchup, a high-profile fight. If you win this, you could be fighting for a title soon." But he said, "But, you know, you've had a few of these, and if you lose it," he said, "that's about it." And I said, "No, you fucking crazy. Never in a million years, mate." I said, if I lose, fuck it, it's not good." I said, "But I'm not just going to throw the towel in and give up, you know." But going back to what you said about being the baddest man on the planet, and this is a fucking, for all those aspiring podcasters out there, this is how you segue. You're talking about the baddest man on the planet. He was never the baddest man on the planet. The baddest man on the planet is Daniel Cormier, who's fighting real soon, in 3 weeks at Madison Square Garden. You like that segue there, Harrington?
That was beautiful.
Michael Bisping said it best. We don't have our drops today, but it's okay.
I'll put it in a post.
Jeez,
Thanks,
Harrington, one job.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, we were just saying before off air, because Gustafsson versus Jones, obviously. Did we talk about this on the podcast last week?
We touched on it.
It's
Very
official.
much
It's
touched on
official for the end of the year. December 29th, 30th, 31st, whatever it is. Whatever show that is. I think it's 2:32, is that right? I think so. So that's official now. And if what I'm led to believe, and Harrington, if I'm wrong, correct me, Cormier is going to be stripped. Jones and Gustafsson are going to fight for the title. Of course, DC is fighting Lewis for the heavyweight belt. So a lot's happened. But could you imagine, and I hope this doesn't happen, but could you imagine if Lewis, and I mean this with the greatest of respect to Lewis, but if he gets lucky, because odds on, you know, Cormier should win this fight pretty comfortably, but if Lewis gets lucky, catches him with one of those thunderous right hands, Cormier loses the heavyweight belt, and then Gustafsson and Jones happens, and he loses his light heavyweight belt. He goes from having 2 belts to 0 belts through not really any fault of his own.
Yeah, and then Jones wins the light heavyweight title. Then Lewis has the heavyweight title.
That would be like the nightmare scenario.
Jones moves up to heavyweight, beats Lewis, takes both titles. They let John Jones keep them both because it's John fucking Jones.
He takes a heavyweight fight on short notice to save a fight card in New York, loses his belt, and then gets stripped to the light heavyweight belt. That's
that actually might happen. The more you're saying it, the more you're saying it.
I feel bad for saying it because I don't want to curse.
God damn it! Edit it out. We're not going to put the energy out.
Fuck.
That it's just the problem with it. It's so, you know, Derek Lewis is the style of fighter who has a puncher's chance, and we watched it in his last fight. Up until the last fucking minute of the fight, he's got that fucking knockout power, and he can put you on your ass. Look, Cormier doesn't get knocked out easily. John Jones is the one dude who's able to do it, but you know, who knows? Any given Sunday. And the more we keep on saying it, the more I think that fucking...
Well, it's not going to happen. You know, and I'm saying that now because I feel bad for even putting that energy out there. It's like on Talladega Nights. Don't put that evil on me.
What are the odds right now on Lewis versus Cormier? Because I might put a big fat bet on Derek Lewis because of Michael Bisping's energy.
Michael Bisping said it best.
Michael Bisping said it best. Daniel Cormier is going to lose this fight.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said. You asshole. That, you know, fortunately, no, the clickbait websites don't bother anymore because I don't fight, so it's good. They won't pick up on that one. But
what are the odds on that one?
Looking like Derek Lewis about plus 475 on that.
Wow. That means if you put $100 down, you win $475. I will put $100 on Derek Lewis. Why not? Why not? The return on that?
Well, because it's going to be a waste of $100. That's why. I mean, listen, more than likely, Lewis wasn't a wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was a wrestler, and he's not a wrestler now. And he even said he's not the most skilled martial artist. He's more of a fighter. He trains 30 minutes a day, he told me. I said, well, you might want to up that to at least 35. Yeah. And then he was like, seriously, man, how much you train? I'm like, well,
You're retired. You train an hour and a half a day.
Well, that's what I said to him. I said, I train more than you now. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, I do like 5. I go for my 3-mile run by my house. I do 5 rounds on my bag, and then I skip. I jump rope for 5 rounds, and then I'm happy with myself. And then I do whatever I'm doing. And then in the afternoon,
then you cry. Then you masturbate. And then you go about your life.
Exactly. And then in the afternoon, I lift weights, like body parts, chest, back, shoulders, all that shit. So I do that. And he's like, man, it's crazy. And then he's like, I said, how much you work out? He's like, 30 minutes. I'm like, fuck, man. He said, no, but seriously, man, how much you train? I said, well, when I was fighting, 2 90-minute workouts a day and probably a 3-mile run in the morning. He was like, man, that's crazy.
It's a lot of work,
I'm like,
man.
no, it's not crazy. That's what we do.
All right, Mike, real quick, we got to talk about one of our amazing sponsors on the show, which is BetDSI, betdsi.com. Amazing website. I love it. You love it. They've been with the show for a while. How easy do they make gambling?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, I'm not the most technologically minded, but with betdsi.com, they make it super easy, very easy to use mobile playing interface. Of course, 24/7, 365 customer service.
Which is important. When you're wondering where your money's at, you're like, dude, I need to speak to a person now.
The main thing you want to go there is because whatever you'll put down, they'll give you a 120% bonus match. Of course, they've got good customer service and all that stuff, which is important. But the main thing that you go to bet for is to make money. And with them, if you put down $100, they'll turn that into $220.
Only if you use our code, though. It's a very special promo for
why else would they do that? Why else would they do that? That would be mental.
The reality is the BetDSI loves the Believe Me audience. You can put your money on anything. They have fun bets like political things that are happening on TV. Obviously, MMA. Derek Lewis, nearly a 5-1 underdog against Dan Cormier. I think that's a great bet to put your money on. So, betdsi.com, BYM120 is the promo code. Support the show by going and supporting our sponsors. All right, let's get back into it. Well, what do we think about Gustafsson versus Jones? I mean, Dan Cormier actually came out and said that he's fought both these guys. John Jones is just the better fighter, period. That's just the way it is.
Sorry, who said that?
Dan Cormier. So, yeah, I mean, look, Jones...
He said Jones is the better fighter.
Yeah, Jones is the better fighter than Gustafsson.
That's an interesting quote.
Yeah, and I think he probably is. I mean, he did beat him. I think a lot of people... the fight was super close, but I think people were...
Or Jones and Gus?
Yeah, people were saying...
Super close.
People thought that Gus won the fight. I didn't think Gus won the fight.
I don't know, man. I remember watching it with Kendall Grove, and... I don't know. I mean, it was that good of a fight. We were both on our feet, and we didn't know at the end. Honestly, it was an incredible fight.
When you watch a fight, do you score it as you go along, or could you watch it in a very different way?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. But still, we were there. I was like, fuck, man, it could go either way.
How do you do it? Like when you... This is kind of interesting. Because here's the way that I score a fight.
10-9, 10-8.
Forget that.
Round at a time.
Of course, round at a time. But the way that I do it is I break it down by the minute. So what I do is when I'm watching it, this is the way I score it in my head, right? I go, all right, who won that minute? Cool. Jones won that first minute. Now I break down to the second minute. Then I go to the second minute. Who won that? And then I give almost a score of who gets 3 out of the 5 parts of that minute. Or if there's something really substantial, I kind of give it more value. But I kind of break it down because it's very difficult for me to look at the points as a whole. But
the problem with that is that it's not about who controls the most real estate of the round. So, he won 2 minutes 32, 3 minutes 02, and the other one had 2 minutes 58. So therefore he gets it. No, I look at the story of the round. What happened? What were the big moments? What stole the round? Who did the most damage? And if it's super close, then it's a kind of case of all right. Well, who's controlling the ox? And it goes down to the criteria, control, aggression, all that stuff.
Are you counting strike? Are you looking at it like, he was definitely landing more?
I'm not consciously counting, but I guess subconsciously I see that one guy's landing more than the other. I'm not counting them now, but you kind of, you have an idea. But I look at the story of the round, and I look at who had the most damage and who... to your point, was being successful for the longer time as well. That's definitely a factor.
Do you take into consideration who's winning at the end of the round? This was kind of an interesting perspective. I forget who originally brought this up.
Well, that's what a lot of coaches used to do throughout my career. They'd always say, and you want to steal that round. At the end, get a takedown, steal the round. And I guess if a fight is close, then you do need to start thinking like that. You do need to start thinking about the judges, and often if a round is super close, a big takedown, a big strike, something flashy, can steal a round.
Or we got to figure this, consider the fact
Or
that
the crowd.
If you're ground and pounding somebody and you're on top of them and you're really dominating them and then the bell goes off, it's like that bell, look, MMA is almost like, the closest thing, the idea is it's the closest thing to real fighting. If there was no bell there, that guy would fucking eventually pound you to death. But
that doesn't really matter because that's not how the fight's scored. It's scored on a round by round basis. You're right. And I guess kind of pride rules.
Didn't Pride used to consider that, how you were ending the fight with the scoring, right? It wasn't that sort of a criteria.
But that's not how it's scored. You can't say, well, the fight in the 5th round ended with him on top of him in full mount landing some shots. But he lost all the other 4 rounds. But in the 5th round, he finished on top, so I give it to him. Yeah. Now, on the street, you can get your ass kicked for however long the fight is, but it doesn't matter how it starts, it's how you end. Same in life. Does it start how you finish or where you're at now?
On the street, it really is whoever looks worse at the end of it. If the one guy has a black eye and a bloody nose, I'm going, that guy lost. I don't give a shit. I didn't watch what was going on. I'm not scoring it like it's an MMA fight.
Maybe if the other guy can't get up and he's unconscious face down in a pool of blood, generally that's how I'd score who won and lost.
Well, you have a different criteria, you psycho. Go listen to Joey Diaz's podcast as Michael Bisping admits some crazy shit from earlier in his life.
All right. Yeah, you might want to wake him up. Who won and who lost? Well, you got a black eye, Bisping. Yeah, but he's not alive, I think. I'm joking.
Mike, how'd you score that round? Well, he's not breathing.
Yeah.
10-8 for me.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, no, listen, you can't score a fight like that, So, anyway, there you go.
What do you think about the Jones-Gustafsson? When is that fight happening, Harrington?
It looks like it's the end of the year card.
I tell you who's really happy about that, and not that I'm saying this from knowledge, but one would assume. I mean, obviously, John Jones coming back is big news. You got Cyborg and Amanda Nunes on there. And which is a great fight. It's a super fight. But both of those ladies as champions now just got a massive, significant pay rise when it comes time for the UFC to give the checks. Yeah, for sure, man. Come on, Jones is one of the few proven pay-per-view draws. I don't mean a superstar. He's not a McGregor. He's not a GSP. He's not a Ronda Rousey. He's not. But outside of that bracket, he's at the top of the next bracket. He's one of those guys that will bring like 700, something like that.
Yeah, but I think he had a couple low ones too, right? Didn't he have like a 450 in one of his more recent?
Yeah, there was the OSP card in there that didn't do that great.
Yeah, it was like 350,000 buys. I remember he was surprisingly not as much of a draw as I thought he would be. But I think it's once again because he's sort of inconsistent. He hasn't. The story of John Jones hasn't just been him kicking ass and taking names for years straight. It's just been marred with all of these little black eyes and road bumps throughout his career, whether it's, PEDs or getting caught with fucking coke, running over a fucking pregnant chick, killing a baby. I don't know what happened, but half of those things happened.
A lot of bad shit. Yeah. It'll be interesting now to see what Jones comes back.
He's incredible. He's incredible,
no, 1,000,000%. But a lot of guys, they need those demons. They need that fire. They need that, that's something that makes them an outlier, that separates them from the rest of the pack, And a lot of people, myself included, had that. And you need that wild side. If you're just a regular Joe, you're not going to... I'm not saying you have to be. I'm not saying you have to be a bit reckless or have a little bit of a semi-screw loose here and there. But it fucking helps when you step into an octagon and fight somebody. And his thing, he was a wild man. But then when we saw against OSP, he did it all legit and right and didn't... he abstained from alcohol and he wasn't going crazy.
We don't actually know.
No, trust me. This is what I was told by someone that knows him.
With the steroids, though, he didn't get caught.
No, and the steroids. Yeah, well, I'm leaving steroids out of it, but he looked kind of flat. I'm saying we don't know if is he going to come back now and be the same person? Is he still going to be the younger? Because remember, he was very, very young.
Yeah.
He's not getting any younger. Now, of course, his last fight, he was sensational. He beat Cormier, knocked him out, and tested positive, which is an issue. I don't know why, but I'm kind of inclined to believe that he wasn't on steroids, and I don't know why that is, but I just am. Because it didn't make sense. I forget what the actual details were, but they tested him and then they tested him again a few days later or something, and it just didn't make... I forget what the details are. Maybe, Harrington, you can just quickly check it up. But it just logically didn't sound It just didn't seem right. It just didn't seem.
It was more than one occasion, though, was it not? It was the one time he got in trouble for testing positive for, like an agent that masks, like a masking agent, right, or something like that.
What, a diuretic?
Yeah, I thought it was. I might be mistaken. I thought it was an estrogen blocker, which you would use.
Oh, that correct. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's what it was, right? And then the other time was actual steroids. So a couple times.
Well, no, you're right. Because I did forget about.
And did you ever see the interview where he was talking about how he was like, I'm known to poke guys in the eyes, and then he smirked and he was like, it works. Like, what? He just said that.
Listen.
By the way, I'm not hating. I see the look on your face right now because you're a fucking.
The story that the story that goes around the campfire, okay? And I'm not saying this because I've never even been to this gym in my life, and I'm not saying anyone in particularly told me.
Right.
But the story that goes around the campfire is that you sort of showed up to Greg Jackson's gym, and I should be at my house because I need my fucking rules on the wall. But the story that the circle of trust rule number 1.
Rule number 21: do not besmirch John Jones' name on the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. No. This and you know how it is. We call it Chinese whispers in England. You guys have a different name where one guy tells a story and then he tells a story to someone else. And he tells a story.
It's a game of telephone.
See the way I'm really laying my foundation.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But this is the story that goes around the campfire that you.
But not one that you even believe. Just somehow it got you. You don't believe it at all.
I don't go fucking camping. I stay in 5-star hotels, bitch.
I don't talk to Chinese people. Are you out of your mind?
Chinese whispers.
Stop whispering in my ear, Chinaman.
Speak up, you fucking idiot. It's hard enough understanding you as it is.
Pork lo mein.
Why are you whispering? No. So the story that goes around the campfire is that you sort of showed up to his gym to test him, and he found out and he hid under the apron of the boxing gym, and you sort of waited. And he led under that boxing gym for 3 hours. And then eventually you sort of got pissed off and left and fucked off. I'm not saying that happened.
No, you're saying it probably didn't happen.
I'm saying more than likely, but it's an interesting...
You heard this bullshit story that's probably not even close to true.
By a total pathological liar.
Guaranteed not a guy that has anything to do with that gym that would...
No.
He would have He would have no inside information.
No.
Not a guy that would know anything.
And why would I even be speaking to him? It's not like I'm in this space. You know? It's true, though. I mean, it's not true. I mean...
Look, dude, I just can't.
So the whole steroids thing, I did forget about that, yeah.
Look, I just know guys like you, there's plenty of guys out there, Dan Cormier's another one. There's never been a question, never been caught, never been questioned, never been a thought that these guys did steroids. And then there's just a bunch of guys who perform better than everybody else and they look the part and then they get caught and then they come up with bullshit excuses and then they get caught again.
I know.
And then it's a part of their personality trait to lie and fucking...
Honestly, but I don't want to even go on about it because people are bored of hearing me bitch about people being on steroids. And the reality is that they are. You know? They are, as Nate Diaz said it best.
What's the percentage?
They're all...
What was the percentage that Nate Diaz said? 90, what did he say, 90% of them? No, he said everyone. He said everyone's on steroids.
They're all on steroids, man.
That was great. They're all on steroids. But who gave the interview? Somebody said it was like 80 or 90%. Somebody gave a very serious...
Hey, well, I'll tell you this. Back in the day, Jesus Christ, back in the early days, 100%, man. They were all at it.
If you had to guess,
I wasn't.
If you had to guess a percentage, not UFC, we're saying professional mixed martial arts, what do you think the percentage are of guys who are taking the chance, trying to go behind, playing the gray
These days,
area?
way less. These days, way less.
Saw it, obviously.
I think, exactly. In the UFC, you got to be pretty. That's why, just lately, I'm more inclined to give people the benefit of the doubt. But saying that, if you're very sophisticated and you have sophisticated doctors and they think they're smart and they think they can outsmart the system and they're weak-minded and they want to cheat, then they might be more inclined. But I'm not like that and I don't have access to sophisticated doctors, so I'm more inclined to believe that people wouldn't go down that route of trying to take steroids because you would have to be very, very silly because you sort of are going to show up and they're going to test you.
Well, there has to because...
But that's my naivety and that's probably me being a bit of a pussy because contrary to popular belief, I'm not a criminal. I'm not out there breaking laws. I'm a law-abiding citizen. And if I get told I can't do something, generally I don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that there's so many guys that have been caught, though, that there has to be a way.
And everybody I know from Clitheroe that heard me saying that, they're like, he is such a fucking bullshit.
There's like guys sitting in a cell right now, like former cellmates of yours.
I guarantee he's on steroids because that was bullshit.
This guy's a fucking liar.
He's painting himself as like, doesn't even jaywalk.
Oh, shit.
All right, guys, let's just take a quick second to hear from one of our sponsors, LinkedIn. Lewis, tell the good people about LinkedIn.
We've been using LinkedIn at Gas Digital to hire new employees. That's the best part about LinkedIn. It's not just a social media website, but it is a great place where you can go and find new prospective employees for your business. The right hire can make a huge impact on your business, and that's why it's important to find the right person. Where do you find them? Instead of posting to job boards, find the right person to help you grow your business with LinkedIn.
Absolutely. 70% of the US workforce is already there. LinkedIn Jobs match people to your role based on who they really are, their skills, interests, and even how open they are to new opportunities. This way, your job gets seen by more of the right people. Most LinkedIn members haven't recently visited the top job boards, but 9 out of 10 members are open to new opportunities, and I guarantee they have a phone and a LinkedIn app as well, which will definitely help. So, you can only reach them on LinkedIn. Lewis.
So here's the deal. Okay, what you have to do right now is go to linkedin.com/believe. You get $50 off your first job post. $50 off your first job post. That is linkedin.com/believe, BELIEVE. Get $50 off your first job post. And terms and conditions apply. Go do that right now. Get the right person to help your business grow. Great employees are the backbone of a great company, so make sure you do your research and get the right people. LinkedIn.com is the website. Make sure you go to linkedin.com/believe. Okay, let's get back into it.
We don't have jaywalking in England, by the way, so sorry, England.
We don't have it anywhere but LA. Apparently in Los Angeles, if you walk across the street, not at an intersection, they'll actually give you a ticket.
I do it all the time. All the time. I'm sorry. I'm a grown-ass man. I decide when I'm crossing the fucking street. There's nothing coming. So I go. My wife, we argue about this all the time, especially with the kids. You know, she's like, Michael, it's not green. I say, it doesn't matter. There's nothing coming. So I grab the kids and start walking across, and they all follow because Callum, also he's 17 and he's not a fucking absolute pussy. And then we all get across the street and we turn around and she's there on the other side waiting. I'm like, what are you doing? Why didn't you come with us? She's like, no, it's not green. And then cars come, you know, and then eventually it goes green. Yeah. And she walks over all very satisfied.
But apparently they'll give you a ticket in L.A. My chick gets mad at me all the time because I just cross the street. New York City, you just...
Is it actually a law in New York City, though?
I think it is, yeah. You're supposed to be like, if a cop ever gave me a ticket for jaywalking, I'd go to jail for fighting that cop. Because there's no way. I'm like, you know what? This is it. We have to literally fist fight each other now.
You know, what down. I see on the news, and it's a very, very sad thing that I see, but I turn the news on in the morning, and I see... There's a lot of hit and runs out here, certainly in LA. You know, maybe not so much in... Well, I'm not saying there's traffic everywhere in New York as well. A lot of hit and runs. You know, and it probably doesn't stand out to you. It just maybe I'm comparing it to English standards or whatever, but a lot of fucking hit and runs. And I'm not surprised because a lot of the time it's on green, but the crosswalk is also on fucking green. Like you can turn a corner and I go to turn and then I slam on because there's people that just like walking across with their families and pushchairs and prams and babies. I'm like, I'm on a fucking green light, but they're also on a green light. So I'm like, it's a very confusing signal. So maybe they're right to have these fucking jaywalking rules, but the system out here is very stupid. If the car waits on red and when it turns green, the pedestrian shouldn't also be on greens, okay? Michael Bisping said it best.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Traffic Laws with Michael Bisping here on the Believe You Me podcast.
It's ridiculous. And you motherfuckers don't use your indicators either, and that really pisses me off.
What are indicators?
Blinkers, I believe you call them.
Blinkers, yes.
Why don't you do that? It pisses me off.
We use our indicators.
You don't use your indicators, man. It's one of my pet peeves. We are driving death vehicles. People will die. People do die all the time. And the drivers are fucking assholes out here. They will not allow you into a lane. Okay, so you have to take dangerous maneuvers and then you turn your indicator on to signal that I'm going to change lane. And you know what they do? They speed up and they make the gap smaller. So then you're like, oh, motherfucker. And you start getting combative in the traffic and trying to beat them into the space.
Next thing you know, you're smashing your car into them. Your kids are crying.
You're making dangerous maneuvers.
You're being kicked out of the country.
You could die. Okay? So if anyone listening, use your indicators and don't be a dick behind the wheel. Flashing the indicators to make a little flash. You never flash either. You never see someone, let's give him a flash. Come on in. Come on, pal, flash. Come on.
What are you talking about?
When you flash, come on, you're good. Change lane. Or you're good, go. You don't do any of that.
No.
And then you don't. And then if someone does let
If
you
somebody
in,
flashes
you know,
you,
in England at the wheel, if someone does you a solid, does you a favour in the car, they flash and let you go. As you drive past, you do the one finger at the hit steering wheel. One finger, little, or you nod your head.
Like a hello, thanks.
Yeah, an acknowledgement of your politeness. And you guys don't do shit.
If you flash a light,
you don't do
in the
your finger.
States-
You don't nod your head. You don't flash your lights. You don't use your indicators.
If you flash lights in the States, that means that there's a cop up ahead. You should know. But this was the thing in the 90s when I learned how to drive. There was like an old wives' tale. If you flash your light, there's like Colombian gangs that'll like follow you in the road and murder you and your family. So then it became, and I think that was just put out by the police because they knew people were flashing their lights at each other.
Oh, really?
So
Okay,
yeah, that was the whole fucking thing. Yeah. Look, real quick, we got to talk about Chael versus Fedor, and I know we don't really talk too much Bellator on the show, but we got to give some props to Chael Sonnen.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, great job in that sparring session. You know, Fedor took it a little too seriously.
In what, the sparring session?
Yeah, that's what Chael called it. What was Chael's tweet?
Oh,
Pull up Chael's tweet.
Oh, did he tweet?
It was a great. Read it
please.
again.
My goal was to beat Bader at light heavy.
Beat Bader, sorry.
Well done,
Fedor.
Harrington.
All right.
Bader.
Start again.
Half
Edit out.
Fedor, half Bader. Bader.
Bader. No, because his name's, what is it, Ryan Bader? Darth Bader.
Bader. Yeah. My goal was to beat Bader at light heavy. What better training regimen could I ask for than having Bellator pay great athletes like Fedor to spar with me? Onward, Chael, Mr. One Step Ahead.
Great job. Look, dude, he went into a sparring session against Fedor. Obviously, it wasn't his best day of sparring, but look, dude, we don't talk about what happens in sparring. The fact that he was willing to open up his session to us as the fans, I thought was kind of a treat.
It was. I got to say, Fedor looked spectacular. I thought he looked sensational out there, man. Talk about fast and powerful and aggressive, and a guy that, myself included, thought his best days were behind him, and he was kind of washed up and he got knocked out a few times, and it was like, was he on steroids, but now he can't take them, and that's why he doesn't perform in America. Dude, he's looked incredible throughout this whole tournament, and Saturday night against Chael. I mean, Chael impressed me because the fight started, he went out there, Chael got dropped, almost knocked out 5 seconds into the fight. Chael scrambled, got back to his feet, and he was, he looked sloppy on the feet. He did. He looked sloppy, but he was throwing shots because he wanted, he was trying to get that takedown with desperation. But he was relentless,
But
and he eventually got it, and that's what impressed me so much. He was so single-handedly going after the takedown, and it was so obvious, and he was eating a lot of shots in doing it, and he got dropped multiple times, and he got ground and pounded, and he was spinning around all over the fucking place, and he looked, he was falling over, and he was getting hit, and he was outmatched, but he showed balls of fucking steel by still getting back to his feet every single time and walking him down and throwing shots and trying to get that takedown because he was trying to win the fight. And I see all these claims that maybe it was another fixed fight or a thrown fight like against Tito Ortiz. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought he showed a lot of balls in that fight. I really do. And you know what? He got him, and he picked Fedor up, and he slammed him, and he had some success. Then he made a stupid mistake. He tried to do some roll and take Fedor's back or whatever, and it got, he got countered. Fedor ended on top. Beautiful ground and pound. Excellent finish.
Fedor's at one time considered the best heavyweight of all time. I mean, to be honest with you, to this day, look, Fedor versus Daniel Cormier, that's a more exciting fight than Bader versus Daniel Cormier. Why are we talking about Bader versus Daniel Cormier? I guess were they training partners at one point? Is that what it was? But Fedor versus Cormier is the one where I go, that's much more interesting because, to be honest with you, they look the same. If you just squint, they have the same fucking body shape, and both really great boxers, really explosive with unbelievable grappling. Who fucking knows? That's a great fight. I really wish the UFC would have made Fedor happen at one point.
Well, they tried.
I know they did.
Apparently, they offered Fedor and his
a lot of money.
His camp a lot of money, but they wanted to co-promote. They wanted to co-promote, and they wouldn't hear of it, And the UFC don't really do that. That was one of the reasons, to go back to an earlier conversation, that I didn't think the McGregor-Mayweather thing would happen, because that was a cross-promotion as well. But of course, with that amount of money on the table, they did the right thing. Yeah, but with Fedor, they offered money, but they wanted to co-promote, so they walked away. you know.
But even
there
to
you
this
go.
day, I mean, he can compete with the best of them. And we've never seen him drop down to 205 pounds, which I feel like he could easily make. I mean, Fedor's body type, how much did he weigh? 225 pounds, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It was around that. But you know, and again, congratulations to Chael. I actually tweeted afterwards what did I say? All balls in class, something like that. Because he's very classy and he shot a lot of balls, you know, even though he only has one ball. So for a guy with one ball, he definitely shot a lot of balls. Oh, yeah, so well done. But then I was like, wow, look at this. Look at the current landscape in MMA right now. The Russians are fucking taking over it big time. You know, maybe that was just heightened because the Khabib thing just happened. And then now I'm watching Fedor, who really hasn't taken over the sport. He did at one point. But it was just coincidental that there was two big main events on 2 weeks after the other, you know. But, yeah, I mean, everybody always knew that there were some very, very talented, hard, tough fighters from that part of the world. But, yeah, they're coming through and doing the country proud right now.
Yeah. Well, good for Chael. I hope he gets to do what he needs to do. Big fan of his and what he does.
All right, let's take a second to hear from our sponsor, Four Sigmatic. Four Sigmatic do a ton of products, primarily coffee, which is made from mushrooms. Sounds weird, sounds crazy, sounds like I don't want to drink that coffee at all. But guess what? If you thought that, you'd be crazy. And you know why? Doesn't taste like mushrooms because mushroom flavored coffee sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
But this doesn't taste like mushrooms. It is coffee made with 100% organic Arabica beans. Does not taste like mushrooms. I brew the same as a normal pot of coffee and it gets mushroom superfood benefits that are known support focus and creativity.
Yeah,
sorry, pardon me, Lewis. I was just going to say I love the coffee with lion's mane. You know, been doing this a long time. It's good for the brain, and there's many, many other superfood qualities going into it. So drink your coffee, which I do a lot of, and get some more benefit than just the caffeine. But Lewis, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Not a problem. Well, I was going to say, here's the thing. I drink coffee all the time. I drink coffee 4 or 5 cups a day, right? And I think when people hear mushroom coffee, that sounds a little weird. No, let me tell you something. The coffee is better than Starbucks, better than all the other brands that you're drinking. Dunkin' Donuts coffee. It's delicious, amazing coffee. They happen to take the benefits of the superfood mushrooms and they infuse it into the coffee. It's not about flavoring it with that, but it's about giving you the actual benefits of those food. They're making consuming mushrooms as simple as brewing a cup of coffee. They sent us a variety of stuff to try out, including hot cocos with lion mane, matcha with how do I say that?
Jesus Christ, Lewis. Matcha with mattiaka. And they also have lemonade with chaga. Ooh. That's right, so you know it's good. But for today, I want to focus on the coffee, which I've been drinking every morning, and it gives me a nice energy boost and, you know, all the other good stuff. Has lion's mane, as I said, research has found that lion's mane may protect against dementia, reduce mild symptoms of anxiety and depression, and help repair nerve damage, which is exactly why I was drinking it on the advice of my strength and conditioning coach after I last got knocked out. It has also shown strong anti-inflammatory, oxidant and immune boosting abilities and has been shown to lower the risk of heart disease, cancer, ulcers and diabetes in animals. I mean, what more do you want from a cup of coffee? So you want to try this amazing product? You want some Four Sigmatic lion's made lemonade chaga in your life?
It's got to be difficult to get this coffee.
It is. It's very hard to find. You have got to go and trail Mount Machu Picchu, okay, to find it usually. But we have sourced it, we have found it, we have worked very hard to get an exclusive supply via Four Sigmatic, and tell the people quickly before I change my mind, because it's such a good deal. It's such a good deal. I don't want to give it away, but Lewis, do it!
The producers are shaking their heads right now. They're about to cut it. Listen, guys, listen right now.
Don't do it!
FourSigmatic.com/believe. That is FourSigmatic.com/believe. The product prices out to basically $1 per cup of coffee with all of the health benefits. Make sure you upgrade your coffee. Upgrade your coffee lifestyle. FourSigmatic.com/believe. All right, let's get back into the show. I want to just spend a moment. Now, should we just be adults and not even address what we talked about last time?
What was that? Oh, okay. All right. All right, listen. For the sake of it being a fun episode, You know, for the sake of it being a fun episode, I'll say yes. Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna say no, you're like
Because no. You know,
let's be adults.
the story I'm hearing around the campfire. Okay. All right. Take it away. You want to do this, and
It's not that I want to do this.
Stop.
I don't want to do this. That's the problem.
Stop. I get
don't.
it. You want to do it.
I don't.
Shh. You want to do it, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, because it circles back once again to your epic moment at Ellis Mania, and of course, you know, and we can all relive in the glory, right, Harrington? And it's great. Why not? We talked about it on Diaz's podcast. You showed a lot of determination, skill, dedication. You did really good. But yeah, so therefore, another very, very popular podcast that we said would go on there because we didn't want to stoop to their levels. And we alluded kind of strongly. But Lewis, take over. Harrington, I believe you have it prepped. You're trying to wind me up over it, which isn't going to work, but go ahead.
I'm not winding up over
the
anything.
The floor is yours.
No, here's what happened, okay? The fighter and the
What do I do
kid.
with this? We got to...
You want to open it? Here, I got you, big boy. The fighter and the kid, who, look, for all intents and purposes, great podcast, great dudes. I don't really know those guys at all. You know, I've met Brendan Schaub once. Love Red Stripe, dude.
No, I do. I drink, you know, with me being so svelte and skinny and in shape, I'm all about Coors Light. But Coors Light with a slice of lime.
Ugh.
It's a
garbage beer. This is a fucking great
from my
beer.
beer
Red
tap.
Stripe?
If you're in Jamaica, come on. But the beer tap in my garden by my barbecue pulls a fucking mean Coors Light.
If you choose Coors Light in your beer tap, you're a garbage human being, and you deserve all the bad things that have ever happened to you.
Great, good.
Think about all the bad things in your life and just realize because you chose Coors Light.
All right, go ahead.
So anyway, were you Brock Lesnar?
What do you mean?
Is that Brock Lesnar? Wasn't that the beer? He was like,
go home and drink a Coors Light.
Oh yeah.
Climb up on top
Not
of
a
my
Bud
wife.
Light because they won't pay me any
They
money.
ain't pay me shit. Good
and
for
I
him.
thought, yeah, you're right.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was
when he did that.
It was awesome. Hell, I might even get on top of my wife. I didn't know he was from Texas.
So look, you know, I think those guys are great. I really do, and I think that we've taken a couple little shots at them.
Well, no,
we
took shots because you said and highlighted something. You showed me something where they were saying, "Oh, who does a podcast over Skype? It's impossible to have chemistry over Skype."
I know,
and I was like, "All right, well,
and who else
off.
are they talking about? Who else are they talking about except for us? We do a podcast over. We're the only big MMA podcast who does a podcast. We don't do it over Skype. We do it over VMix, motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
in the early days, it was Skype.
It was Skype, but that's fine. But I took, and as did you, offense to that because we knew that was a fucking. And here's the thing: we're just not pussies. So ever since, we've taken little shots here and there.
Yeah, fuck you. Why not bring it on?
We'll name them by name, though. That's the difference. We're not going to just allude to the name. We're not going to go, "Ooh, you do a podcast over Skype. You can't have chemistry. I wonder who we're talking about. Suck a dick." Let me just explain to you something. So look, it doesn't even matter. We're both the type of guys we don't have the ability to not say something. So we've taken little shots, but also not at them. Also at Jim Norton and Matt Serra. We're all in
What did they say? What did they say?
No, we've taken shots at them for no reason. They're nice people.
No, I love Matt Serra and Jim Norton.
But we're pieces of shit.
Well, it's like this. We're coming up the ranks. The Believe You Me is slowly coming up the fucking ranks. I'm here for the glory. So fuck you all, okay? And I'm taking no prisoners. So, what they call Fire and the Kid? UFC Unfiltered? I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
okay? I'm going to big them out at all of you.
I hope they all get me too'd.
I hope you know what you're ready for.
All four of them
Start
get accused
on me.
Of some sort of horrible sexual misconduct and that their careers are ruined, and then we immediately become the number one.
Don't say that.
I wish
you should have put that evil out there, Ricky Bobby.
Listen, if there are female fans of this podcast that want a fake story.
That's not funny. We shouldn't joke about such serious matters, okay?
I'm just joking. Listen.
Rape, sexual abuse, Lewis, okay? They're real things. Okay.
So all right, they said that a while ago, and that's fine. And we've been taking shots, probably every other week ever since, and that's fine because why not? That's what we do.
So what's your point?
The difference between us and them is that we'll name names, right? So then, last week.
So then she said, and I said,
last week on their podcast, they brought up Ellis Mania. Do you have the clip? I do. Can you play it? Can you play some of it?
Okay, hold on. Let me
Can
just
we plug in,
stop.
Gabe?
play the clip because I want to hear it. Because, you know, in defense, you sent it to me and I didn't really have too much of an issue with it. And you're like, no, Mike, they were taking shots at you as well.
They said your wife's a whore.
And then, because I'm like,
They said your wife
easy to
sleeps
wind
around.
up. I'm like, you fucking well, Lewis, they did. They said, they were talking about me. And you're like, yeah, listen. And I listened and I'm like, no, they're not. And you're like, yeah, they are. I'm like, you're right. They are. Let's get him. Like, you're like, he's so dumb. He's so easy to convince.
It wasn't even, it's not even the point. They didn't even talk shit about anybody. They alluded. Why are they alluding?
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you alluding?
If they said it direct, I'd actually laugh.
Who cares? They're right.
Yeah, because I don't care.
They're kind of right with what they said. Most people don't have chemistry over Skype. Yeah, Ellis Mania is kind of a mockery of the sport.
Yeah.
Sure, you're right. These are all correct.
Yeah, but don't allude.
Things.
Don't allude.
Just say.
You're right. That's what it is. That's the only thing that I'm offended about. If they just said, oh yeah, Bisping Lewis, fucking he's trying to be a fighter and this and that. Man, what the hell?
If they would have been like, what a fucking asshole, he's trying to fight.
Yeah.
I would have laughed like, yeah, you're right.
I said, yeah,
you said it to my face 100 times.
I would have sent them a text. I would have texted Sharp and be like, yeah, man, that was funny. I say the same thing to Lewis every week. But they allude. And when someone alludes and they don't say what they're trying to say and they're dancing around the subject and they're trying to be offensive without saying it, that gets on my tits.
Just say it.
That gets on my tits.
Don't get on his tits.
If you ever get on my tits
Get
again.
off his tits.
You get off my tits. Oh, dear.
Can we play some of it?
Roll tape.
Roll some of this.
And
Josh Wolf was on their show, and Josh is a funny comic who I know.
So he asked me this past year. He goes, "You want to come fight?" And I was like, "I don't think so. Would you go fight?"
No, and I fight, or I try to. I mean, I don't fight, but I practice.
And why wouldn't you do it?
Because there's no upside to it, and also in those situations,
I find it embarrassing.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But
I'd be embarrassed if he did that.
Yeah.
But
So that right there is a direct shot at you.
Here's what we
It's a
see:
direct shot
the
at you.
manipulation of Michael Bisping. Okay, go ahead and manipulate me because you told no, please,
hear what he said?
don't hold back because you said to me he's talking about you there. I'm like,
That's you.
I don't think he is.
He said, I would be embarrassed. Meaning that if I was Michael Bisping, I would be embarrassed.
Back it up. Back it up. Show me again. Wind the monkey.
Do it
because there's no upside to it, and also in those situations,
I find it embarrassing.
Yeah.
Press play.
He asked
What do you mean?
I'd be embarrassed if he did.
He asked
Yeah.
him, would you do it? Would you fight at Ellis Mania? Which is the thing that I
Yeah.
fought at a few months ago. Which I'm the only comedian to ever fight at Ellis Mania. Yeah. Who the fuck else are they talking about? Yeah. We fucking know.
But
Let's
hold
get
on.
real.
Hold on. Just because Brendan Sharp says, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed so softly and so femininely, with his hands so well manicured and his hair gel so perfectly done and his kick game of the day on display on his Instagram story and his drip going, okay? Just because he fucking said that like that, what makes you think that he's talking about me?
He's talking about you. He's saying, if I was in Michael Bisping's shoes, I'd be embarrassed. Meaning you should be embarrassed, not only for your podcast partner, but of yourself, for the decisions you make in your life, Michael Bisping.
Oh, well.
You should be embarrassed for who you are. That's what he just said. Anyway, continue.
Okay, verbatim.
But I'll tell you why. I have so much respect for fighting and for what guys like him have done that, to me, when you attempt to be an amateur at it and you go in there and you actually take it seriously, because you are. Because
why would you do that to me, Lewis? Why would you do that to me? Why would you make a mockery of me? I had no idea. Brian Callen and Brendan Sharp are fucking geniuses. You've been mocking me this whole time.
You know what? Mike? I've never thought of it from this perspective.
Back it up. Play that bit again. Let's take a look.
I've never thought of this perspective. You know what? I feel bad now. I've been mocking you the whole time.
No wonder my reputation's in tatters.
for fighting and for what guys like him have done, that to me, when you attempt to be an amateur at it and you go in there and you actually take it seriously, because you are. Because if I'm going to go in there and all those people are watching, I don't want to lose. I'm going to swing for the fences. And there's something about a 51-year-old actor trying to be what he's not.
That's what's embarrassing, because he's 51.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you have nothing going on, Brian.
Yeah.
Like you
continue that, actually, because this gets particularly shitty.
got to train for this fight.
He gets mad at me when I spar, because he's like, why are you sparring? Why?
He's actually saying I'd be embarrassed for you, Brian, because at 51 you got nothing else going on there.
Yeah.
He's just. I don't know.
Well, first
Listen,
of all,
they're clearly taking shots at us, right?
Yes,
It's clearly
definitely,
aimed at us. They're
100%,
definitely
100%.
talking about our situation.
the nuance of what they're saying doesn't matter as much because
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm offended by it, but it is a little bit cunty
I
to
can't
just be
believe
so alludery. It's not even a word, but to allude in such a fierce way. Because at that point they're going to be. I mean, it's like Bisping and Gomez. You know, Luis J. Gomez.
Yes,
they
but he did
They
it.
do that podcast, right? And they
Yeah.
kind of did a similar thing. It's funny you mentioned Ellis
And side note, they do it over Skype. Not much chemistry. But anyway, Lewis fought at Ellis
Got
Mania.
that podcast money, bro.
But that's the point where you go, you know what you're talking about here. And also, I will.
They know what they're alluding
I'll
to.
rebut to what he's saying there, which is like, no, it's not a. I'm not pretending to fucking do this on any professional level.
Well, hold on. You didn't pretend. You actually did.
I went in for no. It wasn't. I actually was professional because I got paid and I made a lot of money on sponsors. And regardless, I'm just a great businessman. Sorry, what do you want me to say? You can't kick me in the ass for being a fucking great businessman. But I did it not for money. I did it to challenge myself as a fucking dude. And to be honest with you, I think everybody who watches MMA, everybody who listens to this podcast, if you're a fucking man and you're able, get into a fucking jiu-jitsu class, get into an MMA class, go and test yourself, dude. If you can find some fucking local thing to do and you want to test yourself as a dude and see what it's like to be punched in the face and how you would react to that, I think that is a fucking valuable lesson as a dude, as a fucking man, okay? And for me...
It's a valuable lesson as a human being because you learn so much about yourself when you go through that process. And have you got what it takes to be dedicated, stick to the diet, stick to the training, to get out of bed and push yourself each and every day? When guess what? It's easy to quit. Anyone can quit at any time, but have you got what it takes to see something through to the finish? And if you can't see it through to the finish, then you might give up on a lot of things in life, and then maybe you need to evaluate certain things. Well done, Lewis, and spilling that beer everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're making this great point, and I just dumped the beer everywhere.
I was like so distracted.
You were just, it was really
but
sad.
It's like I was saying earlier on Diaz's podcast. You know, he said to me, do you miss fighting? I said, no, not at all, you know. And then as we were talking, I did realize I do miss one aspect of it, and I'll say it again for our listeners. It's when a fight is made, it's the mission of like all the teammates, sparring partners, coaches all come up to my house. My wife makes some food. We put on some of my opponent's fights. We sit there, we game plan. Then we get out the whiteboard. We plan the training sessions. We plan the training camp. I think for this one, you need 3 strength and conditioning sessions a week, and you need this. And then my strength and conditioning coach will be like, no, but that's too much here. You need a rest day here, and plan it all out, and then put that plan into practice, and then make tweaks as we go along with the one objective of being, we're all going to be flying away to the other side of the world in 8 weeks together as a team, and all that type, you know, that whole sequence, that whole mission, that mission statement of to go there and win. I missed that side of it. So going back to what you said, I mean, it is a very, very, very valuable lesson for anybody to go through that, you know. And you made money from it. You lost a ton of weight. You challenge yourself on a personal level. You went out there in front of a few thousand people.
A couple thousand, yeah, 2,000.
Yeah, you know.
Also, I'm literally better able to take care of myself as a man, able to take care of my chick, my son.
Defend yourself if somebody attacked you.
Yeah, I'm literally, there's no negative side to what I did, and I wasn't trying to pretend to do that.
You wasn't disrespecting the sport, because it was the most legit fight on there that was actually MMA rules. You weren't the guys on the fucking rollerblades with dodgeballs being thrown at them. High as fuck.
Yeah, I trained.
Fuck the headgear.
Yeah, fuck the headgear. I trained 6 days a week. I put myself through something that I'm really proud of, dude. I'm really proud to go and, you know, have that experience to show my son one day.
Okay. Enough sucking your balls. I was going to say, can we get off your balls for a second?
Can we suck my own
All right. We get the point. I get the point. They don't get the point. So, Lewis, I'll ask you this. So what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do about it?
I'm going to fuck up Brendan Schaub.
What are we going to do about it?
When I see Brendan Schaub, I'm going to go up to him and I'm going to fucking double leg take him down.
And I'm going to fuck up Brian Callen.
Yeah, dude, that's it. Me versus Schaub, Bisping versus Callen. You got it. You heard it here first.
It's happening.
Wait. Fuck Alice Mania. It's going to be fucking Believe You Me Mania. No, I don't know. There's nothing. No, I just want to...
Send a message to Fighter and the Kid right now.
Do you think they're going to hear this?
Oh yeah, I think the last 20 minutes of chat may be heard.
You think they're gonna hear
of
this?
you shitting on one of the biggest podcasts in the world?
I'm not shitting on them. I said they're funny. I lied about that.
You lied about them being funny?
No,
you don't think they're
great.
funny?
They're great. Also, you really, dude, somebody could say the same thing about Brendan Schaub doing stand-up comedy, by the way. About him just fucking jumping into stand-up comedy and getting a Showtime special after doing it for fucking 9 months. The fuck out of here. I wasn't trying to make it my fucking career. And by the way, good for him. I'm not even hating on that. But let's get real. You're literally, you're for their perspective on it is like, oh, you're disrespecting the sport. People would say, Brendan, you're disrespecting stand-up comedy by getting up every night at the Comedy Store when there's comics who've been doing it 3, 4, 10 times as long as you.
Okay. Devil's advocate, survival of the fittest. If he's getting booked, then what's the issue?
No, there's no issue.
Okay.
Good for him.
All right,
More power to him.
That's what I was saying. And on that note, I'm going to drink some water.
Yeah. All right. That's it.
Okay. All right. So you got that off your chest. Happy?
No.
You made me talk some shit as well.
No,
I
get in
still
there.
don't think they were talking about me, but
He was talking directly about you.
definitely talking about you.
You didn't hear what he said about you?
I hear them talking about you.
He
and I
goes
would say,
on-
because they're talking about Ellis Mania and a comedian, I don't really think, best player, let's hear the rest of it for a laugh.
Harrington, what were you going to say?
I heard him say any UFC caliber fighter seen at that event is a disgrace to the
Yeah,
sport.
that's what he
No.
said.
I heard him say that
Yeah.
word for word.
And he said,
Hold on, play that.
and he said that
Are you serious?
He said that their whole
Oh,
families
you
are weak.
asshole. You had me for a moment there.
said
I'm like, Brendan, yo, motherfucker, pick up. Oh dear.
No, I look, this is half just playful. I don't really fucking care about them. But I just thought it was very funny that they're alluding to us, and I know they are.
Yeah.
They should know that we know.
That's the only thing that I don't like. I couldn't care less what either of them saying. More power to them. Good luck with everything. But the alluding so hard without actually just being direct about
Just
it.
say
It's
it.
a bit of a bitch move.
Just say
It's a bit
it.
of a bitch move, if I'm honest. But there
Yeah.
you go.
And
All right.
by the way, they're also, with a lot of the things that they're saying, like, I understand what they're saying. Yes, if you're, guys showing up and throwing on gloves and roller skates,
But hold on a minute.
but they're also not pretending to be
I'll
fighters.
say this. Whilst I was kind of aghast with horror when I got to that event,
Yes, with horror.
aghast with horror, and I spoke about Jesus Christ, is this what, how the mighty have fallen, this is what I'm reduced to. I'll be honest, my wife, who is not a fight fan, I mean, she'll watch the big ones. Of course, she used to watch me all the time. She came and hung out with you guys, and once again, she says, thank you very much. She said, you guys were hilarious. What's your other buddy, Chris? Chris, is it?
Yeah, Chris the man.
Oh yeah, Chris from Brooklyn.
She hung out with you guys, watched the event while we were backstage. She said she had a great time. She said they were absolutely hilarious. They were really nice. They were great company, and the show was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's all it's designed to be, a bit of fun, with a bit of the whole thing of it revolving around fighting, but a bit of a fun twist on it, and you don't take it too serious. She said that's actually what she said. She said no one there was taking themselves too serious.
Except for me.
Yeah, well, that's right. Except for you. No one was being pretentious. It was just people having a good joke on themselves and going out there and not, and just having fun, and she really appreciated it.
And the fans fucking loved it.
She
dude.
really
a couple thousand
appreciated
people
it.
came out. And by the way, those are also people that are going to go and buy tickets to MMA events. They become because Ellis is such a big fight fan, they become fight fans themselves. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's all great for the sport. It's all people thinking and talking about fighting and kind of being in this world. And it's a big fucking silly weekend. And I think Ellis Mania is great. And I think people should go to it. If you're in Vegas, go check it out because it's fun. It's stupid, but it's fun.
It is.
Want to do some questions?
Let's do a question or two. I mean,
Harrington, you got some questions?
how long
Big
have
boy?
we been going now?
1 hour on the dot.
Is it really? Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, let's go. Oh, is it 12:21?
Time flies, baby.
What is going on with my watch?
Okay.
It says 1 a.m.
Oh, by the way, hold on. If you want to join the conversation, shoot us an email. BYM@gasdigitalnetwork.com is the email address if you want to shoot us a question. Also, if you love the show, we have over 90 episodes available on demand. Go to gasdigitalnetwork.com, use the promo code BYM, get a free trial, 14 days, download all the episodes, check out the premium service. You get ad-free episodes, uncensored episodes. You don't have to worry about the censorships for YouTube or the ads that go out. If you like it, keep it, and that's that.
Also, I have one other thing to mention, and it's a bit of a rip-off. But I don't mind admitting it when I see something and I think it's a great idea. I was recently on the Theo Von podcast and had a great time, and big shout out to him if he's listening. Awesome guy. And I was listening to another episode as I drove up here. But when I was on, and then since I was on, I've started watching a few of his podcasts. One thing that they do on there, which I think is great, they have people sending their questions via video. And they play it on the episode. They integrate it into the into the podcast. So on the video version, they pop up in the corner and they send their videos in via email or video message. So I think, and I'm happy to say, let's steal that because I think that's a fucking great idea.
Hell yeah! Fuck you, Theo. We took your shit. What
What is he the first person ever in the history of fucking digital media to have somebody do that?
I don't care if he is.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I thought it was a great idea, and I think we should integrate the same thing. So from now on. I mean, we'll take traditional questions via email or whatever. But if you want somebody to film you, ask the question, direct it to one of us too, or whatever you've got, whatever you want to ask about life. It'll just be an interesting feature, maybe 1 or 2 a week. Whatever questions you want to ask us, try and make it an entertaining video, or just send us anything you want. If it's good, whether there's a question or a good video, we'll put it on and we'll just talk about it. Give us something to laugh about. Send us anything you fucking want, and we'll integrate it into the video show.
If you're a hot chick, that helps. You know, if you do it topless while you're juggling or playing, what do they call that, hula hoop, that's okay too. We have no problem with this. Those will usually get on. What, Mike?
It's BYM at gasdigitalnetwork.com.
Yeah, good one. BYM at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Send your videos in, send your questions in. And talking of which, question 1, what have we got, Harrington?
Okay, it does not. Okay, this is from Raymond Fong. Hey guys, huge fan, and I enjoy the mixture between the serious MMA talk with the random yet entertaining conversations you have with each other. Been listening to your podcast for a while, and I'm glad people are finally jumping on the bandwagon. Question for Mr. Bisping. What do you think about the striking level in MMA/UFC now? I feel like it has improved significantly since the old days. Before, I feel like it was mainly stiff wrestlers with an overhand right, and seeing as you were one of the OGs that actually started in striking, you would have a better perspective.
Yes, and who was that, Christopher?
That was from Raymond Fong.
Raymond Fong, thank you for the question, bud. It's a good observation, and it's kind of duly noted, I guess, because you're right. Back in the day, the sport was dominated by a lot of wrestlers, and a lot of wrestlers, when they're trying to look for the takedown, don't need particularly good striking skills. I talk about it all the time. You don't need to be a particularly good striker to be effective. You know, Conor McGregor's a better striker than Khabib Nurmagomedov. He just is. On a skill set basis, if you broke it down like that, yeah, it's true. He's probably faster, he's more diverse, more precise, he's got more knockouts on his record, all that stuff. But combined with the wrestling, it made Khabib very effective. So yeah, that is a good point, Raymond. But I think also back in the day, and of course, yeah, the level across the sport has definitely got better because the sport is bigger and people are applying themselves more, and there's more coaches and better coaches and big super teams now popping up all over the world with high level training. Back in the day though, you would have the wrestlers, but then you'd also have legit strikers. I'm trying to think of some right now, but like, you know, GSP when he first came on the scene was a fantastic karate guy. There were some awesome strikers, and I'm kind of lost trying to think of some right now, but there has been, you know, pardon me?
Wasn't
Maurice Smith was a good one. Yeah, I mean, there was many great purebred strikers as well, so let's not Baz Rutten. Yeah, I mean, there you go, you know, but yeah, I think all in all, the general across the board level of striking has definitely improved, and it's nice to see that because a lot of boxers, you know, they dismiss mixed martial arts that we don't know how to strike, which is absolutely ridiculous. Of course we do, you know. But so yeah, I like to see the sport represented well in the striking department. Obviously, you know, I enjoy the striking arts. But yeah, Lewis, we want absolutely nothing from you on that answer.
So yeah, whatever Mike just said.
They do want to know, a question for Mr. Gomez. I live in Brooklyn and dabble in comedy specials online and watch some stuff on YouTube.
Great.
I would like to check out a comedy club live, but I honestly don't know where to go or how to conduct myself whilst there. Can you talk about where I should go and what I should do while there?
Interesting. Okay, cool. So you're in New York City. First of all, I will take a moment to plug. I'm filming my special, Louis J. Gomez Presents Louis J. Gomez, this December. Go to Louis J. Gomez Presents Louis J. Gomez.
I mean, not even Brendan Sharp would call it special. Brendan Sharp presents Brendan Sharp. I mean, what the fuck, Louis?
Well, it's if I have to explain the joke because you don't know my world, Amy Schumer does all these specials. Amy Schumer presents Mark Norman, presents Sarah Morel. So it's kind of a knock on that these dudes let this chick put her name before them.
It was a joke.
Well, Mike, you know what? You're making me self-conscious.
Well, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Answer the question. Come on, tell us all about the Brooklyn comedy scene that 3 people listening to this podcast will appreciate it. But oh shit, yeah, I didn't like that one myself. But okay, I'll give it another crack of the whip.
Go to the Comedy Cellar or the Stand. That's it. I hate him. Hold on. I hate him. I'm gonna fucking fist fight Michael Bisping tonight.
Yes,
I'm
perfect.
gonna get my ass kicked, but you know what? It's gonna be worth it.
I need to pick me up.
He's gonna
I need you.
Pick me up. It's like a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I'm like, great. I need some. I got a long drive home after this. I'm like, I could do with a little boost of adrenaline. Just quickly knock Lewis out.
But you know what? I'll tell you right now. He'll respect me more after it. That's what my mom taught me. She's like, even if they kick your ass, you know what? They don't want to fight you. That's the truth. They don't want to fight you every day.
But remember, after mine, it won't be a case of who won the round, who do we think. You'll be unconscious on the floor.
Every 1 minute. We got to really go by minute if we can break down how I did.
All right, next question.
Okay, I thought this was interesting. Hey guys, I love the podcast and I have a question for you both, but perhaps a little more for Mike, as I haven't seen Lewis in anything. Do you ever feel like you were typecast for movies or TV in the tough guy role? I ask this as I know you have the movie Triple Threat due out soon, and the UFC fighter Michael Jai White. Things seems to be quite common, and I feel that you are more versatile than most other fighters with your look, accent, and comical timing. Perhaps the Brit R.J. McCabe was onto something when he mentioned a movie like The Burbs, Shaun of the Dead, etc. Yeah, and then
you know, I mean, to be honest, this me and my agent are working on this. I'd love to do some comedy stuff, you know, and we're trying to do some comical stuff because, you know, I mean, anyone that listens to this podcast knows got a good sense of humor and can do that type of stuff. But primarily, when you're trying to break into the market, you got to play to your strengths, and you know. Not that I'm saying I don't think I'm bloody Brad Pitt or anything, but I know I'm not the ugliest person in the world either. But still, that said, getting cast, what I mean by that is I'm never going to be the lead in a romantic comedy. Do you know what I mean? I'm just not, you know. And given my build and the scars on my face and how I can turn it on and look like a mean son of a bitch and act like a mean son of a bitch, yeah, of course. And I've got absolutely no problem with being typecast like that, you know, because you got to get in to the market where you can and find your niche, you know, and I've been doing that a little bit. Of course, in Triple X, I played a good guy for one. That was nice. But yeah, I mean, I remember my son used to say, Jesus Christ, Dad, are you ever going to do anything where you don't die? You know, which is good. I've died a plethora of ways. It's very entertaining. But, you know, you get in there, you do that, and then hopefully, you know, I mean, I've done a few things where I didn't die. But, yeah, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Hopefully down the line, you know, we'll explore more roles. But as I say, I'm not exactly the hottest actor in Hollywood, far from it. But I'm giving it my best shot. And for me, I'm excited about it because it's my next phase in life. It's my next challenge. I was saying before, I miss, you know, the mission of going on a fight. Well, now I've got a new mission. Now I'm trying to make this happen, you know, and persistence is key. Hard work is key. Dedication, perseverance, pardon me. Sweating, perspiring, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy the mission. I'm enjoying the hunt, you know, so you never know. A romantic comedy coming soon. Lewis?
One more?
Yeah, sure.
No, you answer.
No, I don't get typecasted in anything. Yeah. I don't get casted in anything. I audition like an asshole. I sweat and I mumble and I go, oh yeah, I forgot that line. All right, cool, I'm going to go.
My auditions used to be so bad because I'm not a trained actor, right? I mean, these days I know I've done classes, I have an acting coach, I do all that type of stuff. But when I first came out here and I hunted an agent out, I didn't do anything. And he was setting me up on auditions and fucking hell, some of the audition horror stories, oh my God, they're hilarious. I got told to get out of the room a few times, let's just put it like that. But yeah, no, it's like anything you do, if you're walking with your eyes, you know, you haven't prepared.
Yeah,
it's not as easy as what people think. You have to learn, you have to put, it's like anything, it's like stand-up comedy. It's like anything in life, you want to be good at it, you got to study, you got to learn.
Yeah. Well, auditioning also is different than just acting because you're not performing, you're being judged. So what you're doing is you're acting to be judged, and it's a different type of pressure. So that pressure I don't do well there. I don't feel when I get like I shut down a little bit. So I don't audition well. I act pretty well. I've acted in a handful of things, but it's usually a friend of mine gets a TV show and they request me for it or whatever. So Harrington, one more question. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, Mike and Lewis. Chris from Memphis here. Big fan of both of you. Actually managed to be in a bar in London watching as Mike won the title from Luke Cuckold, instantly cementing him as one of my all-time favorites. I got into MMA/UFC in 2013, and so have become a massive fan since then. I'm doing my best to rewatch older fights and fighters, and I became better acquainted with the sport. One thing I always hear about is the epic wars that took place during Pride, but I'm not sure how to approach that era. What are some of your favorite fights from Pride that you absolutely must watch? Bonus points if you include my fellow Memphian, Rampage. I will 1000% watch anything you recommend.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you want to talk about Rampage, the fights with Vanderlei Silva were pretty epic. The fight with Rampage and Ricardo Arona, I mean, that was one of the most legendary finishes in MMA. But it's funny that you mentioned that. Something popped up on my timeline on Facebook, I think, or was it Instagram? I'm not sure. In fact, it was Instagram. And Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, who used to be the Pride heavyweight champion, who had some amazing fights in there. His fights against Mirko Cro Cop, check those out. They were awesome. One popped up and I'd forgotten about it, but it was just fucking epic. Nogueira versus Bob Sapp. Have you seen that fight? Have you seen?
Yeah.
Look, go to Nogueira's. Go to Nogueira's Instagram page right now and look. And he puts on like a 60-second highlight clip of it. It's insane because Bob Sapp is a giant amongst men, and he's throwing Nogueira around. He pile drives him on his head, throws him all over. Turn this around for Lewis. Oh, is this the actual video?
I just have the highlights.
Oh, it's a highlight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's take a look. I mean, look at the size of that guy.
He's huge.
It's fucking insane. And this is actually... there's a good cardio output in this. You know, it's not easy to throw someone around like crazy like he does. But the durability of Nogueira. Watch this. Pile drive. Boom. On his head. The one that Nogueira put on his Instagram page is way better than this because it didn't have the gay music or whatever. It's so much better. It's way more impactful.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, we might want to edit this bit out.
It's all good. Don't.
No. I want to see it. I want you to see it with.
Oh shit! DJ Mikey beat it on the 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
I saw your head bobbing there a little bit.
You know, it's my wife's birthday coming up soon.
What are you gonna get her?
No, you know what she wants?
What?
Here we go. Turn it around for Lewis. Check this.
It also has its own gay music. What are you talking about?
Oh no, just watch this though. Watch.
Turn it down.
It's loud. Look. See that move there?
Yeah.
Get him kicked in the face.
Wow.
Hold on, look. It throws him over and just because he's so powerful. Look at these hammer fists.
So huge.
Look at it. And Nogueira's, look at this. look at this. It's
This is
insane.
Big Nog, right?
Look at this. Boom. Yeah, Big Nog, yeah. Look at it. It's incredible. And look at the actual size of him. Just brute strength, throwing him around all over the place. When Nogueira's just... the old classic sit-through, goes to that single leg. It's insane. And then eventually the big man gets tired after taking such a beating, and Nogueira finishes with an armbar. And that fight there kind of sums up some of the legendary fights in Pride, but definitely the ones with Cro Cop and Nogueira as well. I mean, there was many. Vanderlei Silva, check out as much of a tool as that Vanderlei is.
Yeah, he had some fucking killer fights.
He really is a fucking tool. But
well, that's when he was like just terrifying. Vanderlei Silva. And also like Chuck Liddell when UFC brought him over and he fought Alistair Overeem. That was awesome.
Yep.
I think the only one I ever really watched live, the only I watched the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I'm gonna say watch the Grand Prix. Watch the Grand Prix and
Mark Hunt beating Vanderlei in the Grand Prix. I remember that one. I watched that live. Great stuff. I thought Pride was great. You know, the problem with Pride was I don't really know what to believe was real. I don't know who was on steroids, what was fixed, what was like pro wrestling. Like it seems like you look back at it and a lot of it was sort of.
I was dying to fight in Pride.
Nogueira, I feel like should have been able to beat Bob Sapp easier than that fight showed.
Yeah, but you say that.
Part of it that like they
hold
like,
on,
strung that a little bit.
No, you have a 350-pound gigantic monster like that, juiced out of his mind, and they didn't give a shit, right? Throwing you around like that, being so aggressive. Trust me. Size does matter, you know. Yeah, technique is great, and technique won out in the end.
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean. I mean, a fighter that shall remain nameless used to be known for an incredible physique, and he fought in the UFC and he fought in Pride, but then he was going to go back to Pride, and the promoters spoke to him and they showed him a picture of how he used to be in like his bodybuilding prime, and they said, but we do not want this version of you. Pointed at him, he said, we want this version, and pulled out a card of this guy that shall remain nameless, juiced to the fucking gills and jacked, right? And he was telling the story to my friend, and my friend's like, oh yeah, and then this guy opens up the top drawer of the drawers he had, and it was just full of like needles and steroids. He goes, I'm fucking back, baby. and that's how they were. They apparently, so if this story, what I've been told around the campfire, is to be believed, that's kind of what they encouraged. So,
Yeah,
you know.
I believe it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap this one up. A great show. I know it's a little late. It's 4 a.m. for me, but this was a fun one, dude.
Always a fun one. You just definitely took a dump on the fighter and the kid.
No, I didn't. I said they're great. I took a dump on them, passive aggressively taking a dump on us.
Yeah.
It's not taking a dump on them.
The eluders.
The eluders. We're not eluding. We don't elude. We're not eluding motherfuckers. We got to just say it. It's you know what it is, dude? It takes a weight off my chest. You know when I'm like mad at somebody or like I'm mad at my chick, I got to just say it. And once I say it, I'm like, fucking cool. Now we can get past it.
All right.
So now we can be friends. Now I want to go on their show. They can come on our show.
And on that note, thank you very much.